If you are a highly sensitive person, or HSP in short, imagine being able to empower yourself and feel your best while honoring your needs and your sensitivity. My name is Laetitia, I'm a therapist and I'm an HSP myself. And in this video, I will be sharing with you 6 really positive and empowering habits that will be making a true difference in your life. And I'm going to be basing my facts in this video on Dr. Elaine Aron's book, The Highly Sensitive Person book, which I really recommend. So why do we need empowering habits as an HSP? Our sensitivity as highly sensitive people comes from the way that we process information and emotions, the way that we process inner and outer stimuli. We tend to feel things more deeply and to have an acute sense of people's feelings and emotions. Hectic, noisy environment, chaos or clutter can be really overwhelming and disturbing for HSPs, and can leave you feeling really drained, depleted, and really tired. And the more overstimulated and over-aroused you are, the harder it is going to be to show up as your best self, because you're going to be very sensitive to stressors, to challenges, to any sort of emotions or atmospheres or people, because you are in an over-aroused state, so your nervous system is all over the place. An HSP usually shows signs of sensitivity early on in life, as a baby and then as a young child. Those traits seem to already be present, and it is a trait that is usually inherited, says Dr. Aron. And the thing is that people who don't share that same sensitive trait tends to see HSPs as being shy, as being unsociable, or even weak. So it's not a very nice label, and very often it's a very inaccurate label. So the habits I'll share with you will be very beneficial if you do respond to stress and challenges with overwhelm, if you don't deal well with pressure, if you tend to get easily drained and find that you need to retreat, if you get overstimulated, over-aroused by inner or outer stimuli, or if you spend too much time reflecting on existential matters that can lead you to feel very deeply some unwanted and scary emotions. So those are some traits that HSPs share. So the first positive habit is to not overprotect yourself. If you're scared of trying new things, of putting yourself out there in the world, then you may have a tendency to isolate yourself and to retreat, to go in. It may look like staying home most of the time, not seeing many people or no people at all, isolating yourself, not going after your goals because they would need for you to put yourself out there. But when you retreat, you actually lose your sense of adaptability and your sense of reality. You may have noticed that when you stop seeing people, then it becomes harder to feel sociable and comfortable in social settings. So it's a bit like a muscle that needs to be cultivated. And Dr. Aron explains in her book that when you are afraid of trying new things, of putting yourself out there, you need to help yourself instead of reinforcing the fear. And overprotection would be reinforcing the fear. Because if you retreat, if you go too much in, you are actually telling yourself that your desires are wrong, that they're not meant for you. So the more you overprotect yourself, the more arousing and stimulating the remaining stimulations are going to be, because you can't completely shelter yourself away from stimulation. There's always going to be some, and it's going to get bigger and more overwhelming when you actually shield yourself too much from it. So it decreases your resilience and your capacity to adjust. So my advice here is to keep small doses of stimulation, or to build it up gradually and really progressively so that it's not too overwhelming for your nervous system. But do not eliminate it completely. The second habit is do not exert yourself. So this is for you if you actually have the opposite behavior. If instead of isolating yourself too much, you're actually putting yourself too much out there, to the point where you're not listening to your body's needs. You may push yourself out too much to try to be like non-HSPs. And Dr. Aron says that it can look like too much work, too much risk-taking, too much exploring. And when she says too much, what she means is that point that you reach when you actually don't feel good, when you can feel that something is not right, when you're doing more than what your body can actually handle. So when you sense that you are actually overdoing it, you need to go back to the basics, making sure that you have enough rest and that you have enough recreation as well, enough fun. When you listen to your needs, when you honor them, you will notice that you will perform better any responsibilities that you have. The third habit is sleep. HSPs really need rest and sleep in order to recharge, to reset, and to recenter. Dr. Aron advises for us to make sleep our number one priority when we are feeling sleep deprived, remembering that it can take about 2 weeks before you stop showing signs of sleep deprivation. So it can take some time. So it's really a habit to stick to. So some tips here are to retire to bed when you first start feeling sleepy, to not delay it or bury it thinking, no, I want to do some more stuff, I don't want to go to bed yet. No, actually go to bed. Follow the cues that your body is giving you. And I personally love getting ready for bed before I actually go to bed. So putting my pajamas on and brushing my teeth and cleaning my face, doing my evening routine an hour or even more before I actually feel sleepy. So that way I'm really listening to the cue that my body is giving me when it gets sleepy. For morning persons, well, it's great to go to bed early. And for night owls, if you can, sleep a little bit later, remembering that sleep is really important for you. And if it's difficult for you to get enough sleep, remember that 80% of sensory stimulation come through the eyes. So just closing your eyes gives you a really good break. The fourth habit is enough downtime. As an HSP, you need plenty of time to unwind, to recenter, and to reflect on the day that's been. So whatever this looks like for you, make sure that this is a quiet activity with no screens involved and no high stimulation. The fifth habit is choose the right music. So this is very specific but very interesting because most HSPs are strongly affected by music. So it's important to make the right choices. And I was personally so glad to read about this in Dr. Aron's book because I've myself been affected by music very strongly, where some songs could really trigger an intense feeling of sadness and even grief, which would really put me down, and I wouldn't really know why it was doing that to me and not to the people around me. So if that's your case as well, when you are already a bit overstimulated, whether it is by intense emotions or by outside stimuli, it's great to avoid any music that are going to stir up too much within you. So don't listen to emotional pieces or music that is connected to some really strong memories for you. Keep it really soothing. And you'll notice that certain songs will make you feel those unwanted emotions when, for non-HSPs, they are actually making them feel very happy and relaxed and maybe really uplifted. So you can use music to soothe yourself or to distract yourself nicely, but use it mindfully. The sixth habit is to change or adjust your body posture. When we are over-aroused, overstimulated, as HSPs, we tend to go into freeze mode, sometimes more than into fight or flight modes. And being into freeze mode can actually lead us to shut down, which is like a complete isolation and some sort of feeling petrified, okay, physically and emotionally and mentally. So using your body posture can help you actually break the freeze mode. So try adopting a more relaxed posture when that happens to you. Maybe lowering your shoulders and holding your head high. Or maybe you can lean back a little bit if you feel that you really need to adopt a more relaxed posture. Center your body over your torso and over your feet. And try to adopt the posture of someone who is calm and someone who is in command. So someone who is cool, calm, and collected. And try to breathe from the stomach as much as possible. Elaine Aron says that it is crucial to hold yourself and move in the manner that you want to feel, because your mind will imitate your body. So you are going to send some signal through your body posture to your mind, which are going to help you relax and recenter. So the more that you honor your needs and the more you understand that your high sensitivity is not a flaw, it's simply a trait. It's a different way of processing emotions, of processing stimuli, but it is not a flaw. The easier it's gonna be for you to show up as your best, most authentic self and to feel your best. I am myself working on those habits and I can tell you how transformative they are. They really help you get calmer and more centered and bring some balance in your life. And in turn, it contributes to your happiness and it helps you actually follow your goals and follow your passions and act on them. You feel safer putting yourself out there with those gradual little steps. To end this video, I'd like to remind you that if HSPs have been labeled as being shy, weak, or unsociable, which is not an easy label to carry, it is because of the way that our society sees normality and perfection. You've probably experienced that discrepancy as a child between the behavior that made other children or teenagers very popular and your own behavior, and that's probably been difficult because school years are usually very challenging for HSPs, and I know that my school years were very hard. Dr. Aron talks about some research studies that have been made in China to discover which personality traits made children more popular there. And the traits that came up were sensitivity and shyness. Those are seen as qualities in China. Qualities that make people who have them being chosen, being befriended. So you can see it's very different from the Western world. It all depends on the culture that you grew up in. This is to remind you that it's not a flaw, that there is nothing wrong about you, and that it's just a different way that society sees success and perfection and normality. But you have your own qualities, and they are really strong qualities. And I have a video about strength as an HSP that I suggest you watch if you're interested in those qualities that you possess. And for those qualities to be expressed and to be seen by other people, then it's very important to honor your needs and to work with who you are and not against it. I hope this video was really useful. Please let me know in the comments how you found it and which habit resonated the most with you. And please like the video, subscribe to the channel, or share it with anybody who might benefit. I will see you next time, and I'm sending you much love. Bye.